So today we have a Resident Evil Village Lords Battle Royale. Who wins? Well, let's find out. So, in Resident Evil Village, Ethan Winters has to fight and kill the four lords of the village: Lady Dimitrescu, Benevento, Moreau, and Hisenberg. These four lords ruled their own parts of the village and live as Mother Miranda's quote-unquote children. During the game, like typical siblings, we get a sense that they don't like each other at all. Like they really hate each other. So who would win if they fought? Let's find out. And before we get started, let's do a little background on each of them. Well, after being infected by the Kadu parasite, Lady D gains superhuman strength, durability, regeneration capabilities, these massive retractable claw-like nails, immortality, and she grew 3 to 4 feet in height as she stood nearly 10 feet tall. She effortlessly overpowered Ethan, holding him high above her head with just one hand, sending him flying and throwing him through a floor. Bullets and explosives do very, very little to her, and she survived being stabbed by the dagger of Death's Flowers, which was a heavily poisoned dagger. She has to drink human blood to sustain herself, kind of like a vampire. And, oh yeah, she can turn into like this giant dragon thing with only one weak spot and is capable of destroying parts of the castle. Next is Benevento. Donna Benevento was mentally ill and only communicated through her doll, Angie. After being infected by the Kadu parasite, she only gained one ability. That was to secrete a psychoactive chemical which made people see extreme and even violent hallucinations. She made Ethan see Angie moving, talking, and flying around, ghostly illusions of Rose and Mia, and even that massive scary fetus baby monster thing. Dealing with her in the game was the scariest part and creepiest, but it was also the funnest part for me, in my opinion. Next is Salvatore Moreau. Moreau physically changed drastically after being infected with the Kadu parasite, gaining a hunchback and being covered in tumor-like substances. He also gained aquatic abilities, which forced him to live near the water. He was absolutely hideous, and the other three lords bullied him for it, and all he desired was Mother Miranda's approval. His normal form is disgusting and weak, and he can make these tough, foamy barriers that require explosives to break through. But he can turn into a giant fish monster thing that can swim incredibly fast, walk on land, and is strong enough to easily bust through big wooden structures. He also took bullets and explosives very well. Once a genius engineer, after being infected with the Kadu parasite, Karl Hisenberg gained the ability to move metal with his hand as some form of telekinesis, kinda like Magneto. He was seen easily moving metal all around him, and even sent this knife flying with enough force to easily pierce through a wall over and over. He also has a mutated form, which is just a massive cybernetic monster, obviously granting him vast strength and durability, to the point this highly explosive tank-like rounds were the only real way to hurt him without hitting his weak spot. He still had his telekinetic powers as well, as he could form this massive metal shield around him, and even created this massive whirlwind of metal. Out of the four lords, he absolutely loathed Miranda and was planning a rebellion with this army of basically cyborg zombies that he created himself. So, who wins? Well, I'll just tell you, there's no way Donna Benevento can win. She is a one-trick pony with her psychoactive chemical, and the other three lords know this and are prepared for it if they're not already immune to it. She also doesn't seem to have a mutated monster form like the other three do. She was my favorite part of the game, like I said, but she's definitely the weakest out of them, especially in a physical fight like this one is. I don't see her psychoactive chemical doing anything to the other three lords at all. So she loses. And I'm positive Moreau can't win either, because he's gonna have to be in his mutated form to be able to do anything against Lady D and Heisenberg, period, as his normal form is just very weak. It just is. Also, he'll be weakened if he's away from the water for too long. If this fight was happening near a big body of water, his chances of winning would increase, but I still don't think he would be winning. I mean, he would literally have to get one of them in the water in order to kill them, And even then, it's not like a guarantee. Yeah, Moreau's not winning. He's not the most powerful out of the four. Moreau's out. But now it's down to the two lords that hate each other the most. And I think we all knew it was going to come down to these two, Lady D and Heisenberg. In their normal forms, I think the winner would be solely depending on their location. If the fight happened in the castle, I'm positive Lady Dimitrescu would win. The same goes for Heisenberg if the fight took place at his factory. But in their mutated forms, I can't see Lady Dimitrescu winning. Her only advantage is her flight, and it's kind of countered by Heisenberg's much bigger size, and the fact he can just hurl large chunks of metal at her, or get her all messed up in a whirlwind of metal, or anything like that. She also didn't seem to be very maneuverable and agile while she was flying in the air. Straight up fight, I can't see Lady D winning this when it comes to the mutated forms. I also think Heisenberg could definitely win just in their normal forms as well. So, yeah, at the end of the day, my favorite Lord is winning. Karl Heisenberg wins. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you think and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. Catch y'all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.